This is a video to show how to make a 3D object or a logo that when you open up an HTML page it moves around and you can navigate around it. There's several things we have to do this. This is a pretty complex idea. One of the students wanted to do for their internal assessment. The first thing you need to do is to check that you have Photoshop on your machine. We're going to be using Photoshop to create the logo. Next thing you want to do is you want to go into Chrome or Safari. I'm going to go into Safari, go to Google and write in Blender. Click on Blender, go to blender.org. Here, click and download the latest version of Blender. They're the two things you need to start with. Okay, after you've downloaded Blender, go back to Google, do a search for MANUNINJA, Menu Ninja. And we're going to go to this Menu Ninja page right here. Okay, so this is one of those websites that I got some information from. It's called Menu Ninja. You can just look it up online. And it has a 3D character. It's a good example of what we're going to make. It's got a 3D character here. You can click the button and you can navigate all the way around the character and move them around. So that's what the student for their IA wanted to do. So this is a video on how to do that. Now I went to this website and I read through all the information, followed the rules, and hopefully my video will help you put it all together. I went here and I actually did download the code as well. At the bottom of the page down here, you can click on it and go to GitHub and download all the code to do this, but hopefully this video will step you through what to do. Okay, now we've downloaded everything we needed from the internet. So we've got here in our downloads folder, we've got Blender, we've got the Menu Ninja file, which has all of our files inside of it. So the first thing you're going to do is go through and install Blender. So I'm just going to start that now. I'm not going to record myself installing Blender, but that's the first thing. Okay, so I've installed Blender. I'm just going to start it up to make sure that it works. So we just go here, click Blender. Blender's free, you don't have to pay for it, so you can get it off the internet. It's pretty good, and it's good software. Now, if I have a look here, here's my Blender screen. It always comes up with a cube to start with. A lot of people don't know how to get rid of that, so if you hold the X button down, you can actually delete the cube to start with, because that annoys people. Right, I'm going to quit out of Blender. Quit. I'm going to start in Photoshop designing a logo. Okay, so we're going to start up Photoshop. So we open up Photoshop here and we're going to create a new file. Now, because we know it's going for the web, we don't have to create a big print file. We can click on the web button over here, go to the most common website and hit create, and it'll give us a white screen with a border around it, right? So we can do this now. We're going to create a couple of layers here. The first layer, I've chosen a blue color in here. You know, you can double click on there, choose whatever color you want in the palette. I've just chosen blue. I'm going to click on the fonts. I'm going to click here and I'm going to type Nico. Now, I've chosen a font called Theola Kids. That's just a font that I liked. So I put that, and I'm going to drag that and put it right bang in the middle of the screen, right where I kind of want it to be, which is right there in the screen. I'm going to create another layer down in the bottom right-hand corner, make sure it's behind my Nico layer. I'm going to choose the color white. I'm going to fill the white. Now, you shouldn't see any change here because the artboard was already white, but I now know that there's a white layered background behind that. Now, in Photoshop, to make this into a 3D piece of art, what we do is go up to the very top where it says 3D, we click on that button, and we say New Extrusion, New 3D Extrusion from the selected layer. Now, I've got to make sure I'm selected the Nico layer, and then I go 3D, New 3D, and I go, it's going to change you to the 3D workspace. Yep, that's fine, change me to 3D workspace. And it does it automatically. So what it does is it actually gives it 54 millimeters of depth. It makes it a 3D object, and it puts this plane on the ground so you can see that it's depth. You can play around with it, rotate it around, look at it. I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm going to change the depth to 60 millimeters just so that it's you know, a whole number. So I've done that. So I've got my layer there ready to go. Now, what you should do is you should render this file. So you go to 3D and you click Render 3D Layer. Now, as soon as I click this is going to take 3 or 4 minutes to do this. So I'm going to do it now. I'm going to click Render and I'll pause the video and come back when it's finished rendering. So 3D render, and you can see down here the rendering process can take a certain amount of time. This little blue line that's on the screen is just showing me that it's actually rendering. All right, so this will take 3 or 4 minutes for this to happen. So here we are back again in Photoshop. The rendering is just finished. It did take about 3 minutes for it to do that. The more complex your logo and the bigger you make the logo, the longer the rendering can take. I've had some that take 40 minutes to go, and that really puts pressure on your machine. So you're better off just doing a small logo the first time to make sure you understand the process before you go ahead and do something big. So now we've got the logo. I go up to 3D and I want to export 3D layers. It's the third one down from the top. I click export 3D layers. Now I want to change the 3D file format to OBJ, which is the very bottom one here. So I'm just going to click OBJ. I want scenes and textures. I want everything. I just click OK. Now, where do I want to save it? Well, I'm going to save it to the desktop for the purpose of this, and I'm going to call it Nico, N-I-C-K-O. Let's make it a lowercase n, just for the fun of it. Hit save, and I've saved that to my desktop. Now, I can hide Photoshop. I don't need to go back there for the time being. The next thing we need to do is go into Blender and actually change this file a little bit in Blender, because as it is, it's really big. It's too big for Blender, too big for the web. Okay, so we go into Blender, we click Blender down here and we open it up. And remember, when you first start Blender, you're going to have this cube. Hold the X button down and then press delete. That'll delete the cube. Now we want to import that new OBJ file. So I go File and I go to Import and I look up OBJ, which is about 3/4 of the way down. I go to my desktop where I know I just saved it, and there it is, nico.obj. So I click on that, double click on that, and it'll open up, and you can see it's massive, right? It's too big for the platforms, and that's one of the issues, that we need to make it smaller so it works on the web. So while it's highlighted, it's got a fine little orangey red line around the outside of it. We can click on Scale, and we can just move our mouse right or left, and it'll scale it down. Now, I don't want to scale it too much to start with. That'll do. Then I'm going to Translate, which is going to move it around. I want to move it towards the center of the page. Now, it's still way too big, so I'm going to scale it a bit more, get it really small. There we go. Now I'm going to Translate, which is going to move it around. And really what I want to do is put it right in between that red and green line. So I'm going to click off it. Now I can actually move 2 fingers on my mouse and rotate around the screen. I can go up and down, have a look at it. Now I think at the moment it's still probably a little bit too big. So let's go back around here. Yeah, it's not too bad. I think it's probably a little bit big. So let's just click on it and scale it again. Scale. I just want to go a little bit smaller to about there. And then obviously I need to move it again to make sure it's exactly in the middle of that green and red line. So I'm having a look at that. I'm just going to move it down this way a little bit. That's good. Go this. Now I want to look at it from half. I want half above the line and half below the line, which, look, if I look straight at the line there, that's pretty good. It's right on half. So I'm pretty happy with that. Now there's a few little things we can do to tweak it and make it a little bit better. We could click over on the right hand side over here, there's a little camera. I could click Render, and that'll show me what it looks like. Now when I do that, it's got this grey background and it's really dark with a shadow here. So the first thing I could do is I could go down here to Shading and turn the shadow off and then render it again. And that's already better. I can read the word Nico. So that's one thing. Second thing is I can go to the background, which is the whole world, click on the horizon and change that to white. Right, and then that'll change the whole background when I go back to the camera and hit render again. Now I've got this white background with this blue logo that I can have a look at. I go up into down to the bottom left hand corner, click on the 2 arrows, go back to my 3D view, and I can see it as it was as a 3D. Now I want to export that file, so I go File, Export. Now this is where we've got 2 decisions. We could either try and do it as a 3JS, which we've got to tweak the file a little bit, or we can just export it back out as an OBJ. Now at this stage I'm just going to do it as an OBJ, so let's export it out of that, go back to the desktop, and I want to call it nico.obj. Now when I choose that, it'll give me a red line, and this red line is saying you're going to overwrite the existing file, and I know I'm doing that and I want to, so I go Export OBJ, and it overwrites it. Now I'm going to hide Blender because I don't need that at the moment, and you'll see on the desktop here now I have my Nico and my MTL, which is like the rendering that goes with it. There's also one down here called default ibl.tiff, which also goes with it. So those 3 files kind of sit together. Now we want to start putting them into a website. So I'm opening up my htdocs folder, which all of you guys have, all the students have. You know what that is. For those who don't know what it is, if you're running You don't want to run this live on the internet. You can run it through a local host. We use MAMP as our local host, so I've got MAMP. I turn on my servers for MAMP, and then to run anything on those servers, which is a local host, you have a folder called htdocs, and the htdocs is where we've got it. Now I'm going to go to my downloads folder, and I'm going to copy that Manu Ninja folder that I got off the internet right at the start. I'm going to put that into my htdocs. I'm going to rename it Nico Logo, so that when I go to my htdocs, when I run it through the local host, I'll know where I'm going, Nico Logo. I'm going to open up that folder, expand it down, and in the assets, I'm going to open up the assets, and there's 3 files in there. I'm going to delete those files, Command Delete. And I'm going to copy my 3 files off the desktop, Nico OBJ, Nico MTL, and this default. I'm going to copy all 3 of those, and I'm going to put them into the assets folder, so that I now know they're there. Now I have to go to the index.html file, control-click, open with brackets. You all know how to do this. We open up this file in brackets, and there's a few changes I want to make. First of all, the title, I'm going to call it Nico Logo. So that's the first thing I want to do. Then I'm going to go down here to this little thing down here, and I'm going to say, instead of saying low poly croupier, I'm going to write click L for lights, for light. Click L for light, that's what I'm going to put. Click L for light. Then there's a web link here that links to the Manu Ninja page. I'm going to take that off. I'm just going to make it go to the school website that we've been working on, .slsmilan.com, and I'm going to change this to say SLSM. So that's the website we've been working on. Right, next, there's this little thing up in the top right hand corner that says GitHub, you can help me out when we go to the web page. We don't want that. I'm just going to delete that whole, from A to A. I'm just going to delete the whole thing. We don't need it, right? So I'm just delete that section there. Right, as we scroll down to the page, after you've deleted those things, you're going to come to about line 112. It says materials, default, map flagger. We are going to hash those out. We don't need those. In fact, the file won't work if you have them there. So to put in a comment in that section, you put slash star, and then at the other end of it you have to put star slash, so that you've commented out, and you'll see that section's gone light grey and the rest of it's fine. Now in here we want to rename this section here to say Nico, all lowercase, and the actual OBJ file we want to rename that to Nico as well. Hit Command S and we save it. They're the changes we've made. We've changed the OBJ file name, the mapping, the materials file name. We've hashed out these 2 lines to make them comments, and we've changed the thing at the start here, click L for light, and we've put a little link to our school website on there, and we've saved it. Now we jump into MAMP, we click Open MAMP, we go to my website like we always do in class. This one's called Nico Logo. We click into there and it opens up straight away. And there it is, there's my logo. Now if I move my mouse around, you can see the logo moves around, it looks pretty cool. But it doesn't look great, it's just like this matte color, right? So this is where I've written click L for light. So if you press L on your keyboard, now the logo has 3 lights hitting it, and it has texture and it has depth, and it looks pretty cool. And this is the effect that we've been looking for a website. Now, if this was your first website, your welcome page, that'd be a pretty good welcome page, pretty interesting. And then they've got the link down the bottom, which would they click to go to another website. So that's the end of the video. That's the way it works. There are a few tweaks and things you can change. Change the background color to be a different color, which would be a lot better than dirty grey. But for the purpose of this is what you've been looking for, and I hope you use it in your IA.